Good evening, O&J Roberts School District voters. Tonight, we plan on introducing to you, the voters, 4 candidates who will be running for the school board in the primary election scheduled for May 21st, 2019. My name is Frank Booth, and I will serve as moderator. There are 17 candidates in total for 6 seats on the school board. One of the seats is a 2-year term, and the other seats are all 4-year standard terms. The candidates you will meet tonight are Michelle Mayfield Fries, Matthew Fitzgerald, Will Kleinfelder, and Pamela Klauser-Wolf. Each of the above candidates are cross-filed, which means their names will appear on the ballot as both Democrats and Republicans. You might see a notation with a D/R, which would indicate that on the ballot. The format for tonight's program is as follows. First, the candidates will be given several minutes to explain their backgrounds, both biographically and professional backgrounds, and also their involvement in O&J Roberts school activities while their children were in school, both in the past and in the present. The second segment of this will be specific questions asked of each candidate, with one question being posed to all 4 candidates. At the end of the questioning, the candidates will be given a second opportunity for several minutes to summarize the events of today and describe any other elements of their candidacy they would care to do. Now, initially, what we'd like to do is have all the candidates provide a general description of their background. The first candidate would be Michelle Mayfield Fries, who's seeking a 2-year term. Mrs. Fries, you're up.
Thank you. As I was introduced, my name is Michelle Mayfield Fries, and I'm seeking the 2-year term for School Board Director in the O&J Roberts School District. I've resided in the area for over 20 years, and most recently in East Coventry Township for the last 12 years. I am an attorney with over 21 years of municipal law experience, meaning I represent political subdivisions similar to the O&J Roberts School Board. Receiving my law degree from Villanova University School of Law in 1997 after obtaining my undergraduate degree in business from the West Virginia University. I am the proud parent of a junior honor student at O&J Roberts High School, McKinley Fries, a 3rd-generation Wildcat. I'm an active volunteer in the community and school activities, including the band, musical, Girl Scouts, and rugby. My family was involved in the founding of O&J Roberts School District and continued to serve the district until this time. I wish to continue their service to the district and tradition of OJR being a proud place to live, work, play, and be schooled.
Thank you, Mrs. Fries. Mr. Fitzgerald, you're next.
Hello, my name is Matthew Fitzgerald. I've been a resident of East Vincent Township for the last 9 years and East Coventry Township for 18 years prior to that. I grew up in the O&J Roberts public school system, attending East Coventry Elementary School, our middle school, the Technical College High School in Phoenixville, a precursor to our STEAM program. I completed my formal education at Penn State University in electrical and computer engineering, and currently work as a Chief Technology Officer at a critical power systems company. I'm a retired United States Army Reserve officer. I currently serve as Vice President of the O&J Roberts School Board, have previously served on the board of the O&J Roberts Music Parent Organization, and regularly volunteer at the high school and various events. I'm married with 2 daughters, Maddie, an O&J Roberts graduate in 2017, and Meredith, who is going to be graduating this spring. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fitzgerald. Our next speaker will be Pamela Wolf. Pamela?
Thank you. My name is Pamela Klauser-Wolf. I have lived in the Pottstown area for 58 years, and I've lived in the O&J Roberts district for 31 years. My husband John and I have one son, Jimmy, who attended O&J Roberts from grades 1 through 12. He graduated in 2011. My education comprises a Bachelor of Arts degree in French from Albright College, and a Master's Equivalency in Education from Penn State. I am a strong advocate for public schools. I attended public schools. My son attended public schools. I taught and coached in public schools, O&J Roberts, and I now currently serve on the board of directors at O&J Roberts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. Our cleanup man is Will Kleinfelder.
Thank you. Hello, my name is William Kleinfelter, and I've been a resident of the OJ Roberts School District for the past 30 years, and I reside in South Coventry Township. I am married to Mary Jane, and we have 2 children. My daughter Morgan is a 2012 graduate of the OJ Roberts High School, and my son Austin is the 2013 graduate of the OJ Roberts High School. I'm employed by Cerner Corporation, where I've been there for the last 34 years in the Great Valley Corporate Center. I have an associate's degree in specialized electronics from Lincoln Technical Institute. I have a bachelor's of business administration with minor in computer science from Mercer Science College. I'm seeking my third four-year term as school director. I served as board president from 2012 and 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kleinfelder. I think it's a good idea now to point out that these folks have created a website, and I'd like to refer the voters of the O&J Roberts School District to this website. It's OJRforGreatGovernance.com. So that will be up and running shortly, and will be running through the election. Now we'll move to the actual questioning. The first question is for all of the candidates. Question is, why have you decided to be a candidate for the school board? Mrs. Freest, you're lead off again.
Thank you. I'm seeking the 2-year term for the O&J Roberts School Board to bring my legal experience and knowledge as well as professionalism to the board. I have no personal agenda in seeking this seat except to recognize that the students are an asset in our community and desire to ensure the students are provided the opportunity for a thorough and well-educated and well-rounded education in preparation for the world, albeit whichever direction they go, future education or jobs. And doing so with the consideration of the taxpayers and constituents that fund their education and the educators and administrators that provide their education. And in doing so, to ensure all of those stakeholders have a voice.
Thank you. Mr. Fitzgerald, you're next.
Thank you. I am passionate about the education, safety, enrichment of each and every student at the O&J Roberts School District, no matter their abilities, aptitudes, background, or socioeconomic status. Each and every student deserves a safe and fostering environment that maximizes their academic and personal growth to the fullest extent possible. Achieving this goal, and truly this is a responsibility, among the many challenges of economics, government regulations, societal pressures, calls for change, and resistance to the same, is a formidable challenge. I have the consensus building, objectivity, moral fiber, fortitude to make difficult, fact-based decisions that are in the best interest of all of the students while considerate to the financial impact of our constituents. So when reflecting on my family's experience at O&J Roberts, starting with my mother, who graduated from the first class of our high school, through my time at O&J, and with the graduation of my 2 daughters, marking 3 generations of proud Wildcats, I can think of no better way to repay the appreciation we have to the O&J Roberts School District than to continue with the governance of its growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. Mrs. Wolf, you're next.
I've decided to be a candidate for the school director after almost 8 years of experience on the school board. I know I have the skills, the knowledge, and the tenacity to serve all stakeholders in the district. With 51 years of experience in all roles in the O&J Roberts School District, I understand O&J's unique culture and history. I want to maintain academic excellence, innovative fiscal management, and of course, continue to support a safe and secure environment for our students and everybody. Although I didn't graduate from O&J Roberts, I feel that O&J Roberts is my home, and my purpose, my focus is to work with everybody, but focus on the students, especially tirelessly being an advocate for every student in our remarkable school district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kleinfelder?
Thank you. I truly miss not being on the OJR school board. And I still believe that I have valuable skills that can be applied to being an effective school director for the O&J Roberts School District. My professional experience is that I feel are valuable to the OJR school director position include project management, technical analysis, financial analysis, budgeting, and proposal preparation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move to specific questions for specific candidates.
Okay.
And the way this works out, Michelle Fries is leading off again. This has become pretty standard. The question for you, Mrs. Fries, is what are the current challenges facing public education, especially the O&J Roberts School District and School Board?
Well, I think the greatest challenge facing all school districts, and particularly O&J Roberts, is being fiscally responsible by providing education and opportunities to all students in all grades in preparation for their futures. As recently saw in the newspaper, approximately 78% of O&J Roberts School District budget is locally funded, 20% from the state and 1% federally funded. The state funding, while less than 1/4 of the budget, remains notwithstanding continual mandates by the state that are unfunded. Continuing to meet the mandates and challenge of educating the students in a growing residential community and meeting those obligations while remaining in the Act 1 index without exercising or seeking the exemptions is a current and continuing challenge for O&J Roberts and surrounding school districts in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Additional challenges include continuing evaluation of the everyday needs of our students and programs, specifically the safety of our students in an ever-changing world, and meeting the request in a world that continues to seek transparency while keeping the lines of communication open and in consideration of all the stakeholders, be it the constituents, the educators, the administrators, but most importantly, the students.
Thank you very much. The next question goes to Mr. Kleinfelder. How does the school board balance the need to provide excellence in education while responding to the local taxpayer needs?
Thank you. For me personally, I will consider each item that comes before the board for its merits and educational value. I will make informed decisions based on the information available before voting. I understand the importance of providing effective and responsible education programs along with balancing the needs to be an effective steward of public resources. When it comes to budgeting on a yearly basis, I will evaluate every program to ensure that it is providing value to the students and eliminate those or change those that are not. I am committed to keeping the budget within the Act 1 index. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kleinfelder. The next question goes to Mr. Fitzgerald. What is your philosophy about how a school board functions efficiently, effectively, and ethically?
Thank you. I have attended a number of school conferences, and this topic comes up often and has been the focus of numerous studies. Studies have shown that school districts that have high-functioning school boards also have amongst the highest levels of student achievement. If we think about the school board as an apple tree, the fruit it bears feeds the achievements of our students, administration, faculty, staff, and the community as a whole. A tree that is healthy, mature, and productive, with all of its branches working together, making fruit, produces the most bountiful baskets and the community benefits. Healthy boards are respectful, engaged, participate in wholesome debate, encourage community involvement, honor consensus, promote transparency, and respect confidentiality. Mature boards are comprised with sufficient numbers, think of them as branches, of experienced members in educational governance. Since it typically takes a full year for a new board member inexperienced in public governance to come up to speed with all the government mandates, confidentiality restrictions, school policies, committee work, and history, there is a critical balance between maintaining experienced branches and growing new ones. Productive boards have everyone working in the same direction for a common cause that is in the best interest for all the students and the community. Not for one issue and not for personal agendas. The responsibility for individual board members is to present an organized case for an initiative and not to overshadow the branches of the tree. So for our constituents, the most effective, efficient, and ethical board is achieved through the maintenance of the apple tree, re-electing the mature branches that are productive, pruning the non-productive branches, and filling vacancies by electing new branches that have the best potential to bear fruit. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice analogy. Mrs. Wolf,
Yes.
what is the role of the what is the role of the superintendent in relationship to the school board?
Well, the superintendent is the chief executive officer, not only of the district, but of the school board. And our superintendent is a female, so I'll refer to superintendents as her or she. She has obligations to, first of all, identify the needs of the district and to make recommendations for student achievement. She must be in charge of the supervision of all district programs and implementation of board policies. And because the superintendent, along with the 9 school board members, comprises a team of 10 that work together closely, our superintendent or any superintendent must provide day-to-day leadership and administration. And then you did ask about the role of the school board as well?
Yes, in relationship to the superintendent.
Okay. The role of the school board is for governance. And there's a fine line between the school board governance and the CEO of a superintendent. The board establishes policies, approves the comprehensive planning of the entire district, works with all district stakeholders, and the board also coordinates the needs of the district. I find that one of the most important role of the school board is to grant the power and authority to our superintendent to be the leader of our district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question goes to Mrs. Freeze. What should be some main objectives for OJ Roberts School Board? Pretty broad question.
Thank you. Well, I think the first objective, and referring back to my earlier response, is ensuring that our students are educated with opportunities as well as in the classroom, while being responsible to our constituents and the other stakeholders. To do so, a board should utilize its resources to evaluate or research to ensure all available resource tools are sought to do such things. Such things are seeking grants and outside available funding resources where available for the tools a student and educator need to perform their task. Hiring qualified individuals to serve our students, both as educators in the classrooms and administrators overseeing our educators and following through with the policy set by the school board, and trusting that you have those people in place to do so. Continuing to evaluate the needs of the students, both on an everyday basis and in today's changing society, safety and security, as well as technology. Refer to Mrs. Wolf response is to be a policy setter for the district to meet these objectives. And where available, and at all possible times, utilizing the resources and involvement of the community, encourage their involvement and seeking their feedback and input in decisions affecting them.
Thank you very much. How important are athletics and extracurricular activities in public schools, especially at OJR? Mr. Kleinfelder.
Thank you. Athletics and extracurricular activities are very important. OJR does an excellent job at providing our students with a variety of activities to choose from, whether it be playing sports or participating in the arts or participating in a club. It's said that students that are more engaged with school activities tend to perform better academically in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question goes to Matt Fitzgerald. Please explain the importance of safety and security in the O&J Roberts School District.
Thank you. This has been a key area of study of mine since joining the board and remains a top priority. At O&J Roberts, we're fortunate to have hired a highly qualified retired state police officer as our chief of security and safety and district chief of police. He has brought new perspectives to this area and is currently leading the charge as we progress through the latest feasibility and safety studies to enhance our physical security. A key aspect, and sometimes understated aspect to school safety, is to provide schools with sufficient staffing and training to address the mental health and emotional support needs of students. In nearly every incident involving school violence, whether large or small in scale, the emotional stability, emotional intelligence, and mental health of a student comes into play well in advance of the event. The warning signs are there, and often social media has played a part. I have supported training for all of our teachers and staff to recognize the signs of youth at risk and for referral of those observations to individuals trained to conduct risk assessment evaluations. I have also supported having sufficient funding available to support the students in counseling or in extreme cases, removal, whether temporary or permanently, from the school district while they obtain help. And for the general population of our schools, a continued effort to educate and promote the responsible use of social media, including our obligation to our fellow district citizens to say something if we see something.
Thank you very much. Next question sounds like a pretty simple question, but it might not be. We'll direct this to Mrs. Wolf. What's the purpose of public education?
Purpose of public education, which is very close to my heart, having been a public educator for 46 years, is to educate every student to become an independent and successful citizen who, once they graduate from high school, are productive in our community. The O&J Roberts School District, as a public school, educates every student, regardless of academic, social, economic, physical circumstances. And therefore, public schools must strive constantly to maintain best practices, but also to continually look for advancements in education. I also feel that although times have changed since I went to public schools in the 50s and 60s, schools have become more of a community, and public schools must be certain that students are well-nourished, healthy, and safe. And that is the job of public schools in today's world, because we want to see exceptional students coming from outstanding public schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good answer. That really ends our specific questions to specific candidates. What I'd like to do now is have you, each of you, make a final summarizing statement, and we'll go with our leadoff person again, Michelle Fries.
Well, I want to thank you for moderating this evening,
My pleasure.
and I want to thank the constituents for your time and consideration in supporting me for the 2-year term for the O.J. Roberts School Board Director. I believe I'd be a beneficial choice to the community to serve as a school board director, as not only do I bring my legal experience, but specifically over 20 years of municipal law experience and representation of numerous political subdivisions, such as O.J. Roberts School District. That I advise on a regular basis on topics routinely of a concern in the district, such as the Sunshine Act, Right to Know Act, Ethics Act, and review of an interpretation of applicable codes such as the Public School Code. This in and of itself would provide me the knowledge to research my own answers, as well as know the questions to ask of the appropriate personnel, either the solicitor or superintendent or financial officers. I attend public meetings weekly, which provides me the understanding of the operation and interaction between the public, appointed officials, and the governing body. For 6 years, I served as an assistant city solicitor for the city of Reading, an employer similar to size of the O.J. Roberts School District. During this time, I was consulted and advised on numerous topics, such as insurance defense, labor and employment issues, and defending municipalities in civil rights cases. In addition, I am involved in both school and community activities as a volunteer, affording me the opportunity to see and hear issues affecting the district. By being on the school board, I could bring these concerns directly to the board and seek resolution of such concerns. With this varied legal, municipal background and community experience, I believe I would be a qualified candidate and seek your endorsement and support, and most importantly, vote on May 21st for the 2-year term as a director for the O.J. Roberts School Board.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Fries. Mr. Fitzgerald, you're up next.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you for moderating, and thank you to all of our constituents for looking at tonight's presentation. This is one of the most important elections in our school district's recent history. The challenge in front of our community is to elect the best school board to further student achievement and growth while balancing the needs and fiscal impact to our residents. So, with the wide field of candidates, I would ask our constituents to take a careful look at the issues, understand all sides of the arguments, and filter through to the facts. For my candidacy, I am confident that I will continue to be a strong, mature, and productive member of the school board that can foster its health through objective decision-making, leadership, consensus building, community involvement, and change management. I am Matthew Fitzgerald, and I am seeking election for a 4-year term to the O.J. Roberts School Board. I am asking for your support in making O.J. Roberts even greater than it is today through great governance. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Wolf, your summary, please.
Yes, you ask why should you vote for me? Well, you should vote for me because I'm seeking my 3rd term for a 4-year term on the board. And I have a unique background and experience, especially in public schools. I am a parent, I'm an educator, I'm a taxpayer, I'm a coach. I'm also currently on the school board, and I'm also a former athlete. Therefore, I can see and bring perspective to the district. If you would imagine a large bubble, okay, I'm a parent, a taxpayer, an educator, and all the things I mentioned. So I cover that entire bubble to be able to see everybody's side. And for example, as a coach and a former athlete, I understand both sides. As a parent as well, And so I believe I bring unique perspective from all aspects. And I also believe that a focus on students, especially having been an educator in the O&J Roberts District, is where we need to begin. Because when we focus on students and we focus on what's best for them, everything else will fall into place. So I ask that you vote for me for a third term, Pamela Klauser Wolf, and please come out and vote. It's very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. Mr. Kleinfelder,
Thank you. Thanks, Frank, for being our moderator tonight.
it's been my pleasure.
I understand the importance of providing the best educational programs along with balancing the requirements of being an effective steward of public resources. I believe that by providing strong leadership, making informed decisions, and having effective communications with all members of the community, we can continue to provide the best possible cost-effective education to the students of the OJ Roberts School District. I believe that since I was first elected to the board in 2009, that I have shown my leadership skills. And as a team, we have done an excellent job in putting the school district on the right path. Through careful planning for the school district, we have been able to stabilize the budget, and we now and will not be experiencing financial issues like some of our neighboring districts have, like large tax increases or cutting programs. Being a school director is a huge responsibility and something I take very seriously. As a school director, I am responsible for making decisions that will have an impact on the quality of education that our students will receive. I understand the importance of providing effective and responsible educational programs, along with balancing the needs to be an effective steward of public resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our agenda for the evening. I'd like to hope that the remarks by the four candidates were both enlightening and educational for the voters and helpful in making a decision when they vote on May 21st. I'd like to thank the candidates individually, Mr. Will Kleinfelder, Michelle Mayfield Fries, our leadoff person, Matthew Fitzgerald, I should say, and Pamela Klauser Wolf. Thank you again to the O&J Roberts voters for viewing this. I want to mention your website one more time. The website is OJRforGreatGovernance.com. This election matters. Your votes count. Please vote. Thank you very much, and good night.